Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of St. Elspeth. This is a book by Wick Welker. This is a book that came out in 2023. It's a sci-fi. It's self-published. I received this as a judge in the SPSFC 4. It's my last review of the competition, and this one was also a finalist. This video was filmed before the the winner was announced, so if it is the winner, good for you. If not, sorry. A fun post-apocalyptic novel with aliens, medical procedures, and fertilizer. St. Elspeth is a quick-paced one-woman show. Well, what's it about? Why did they come? When they appeared across the sky, speculation wheeled around the world. The aliens were from heaven, the invaders were from hell, or they were proof that neither existed. But when they landed, curiosity gave way to suspicion, and the nations reacted with nuclear force, setting off a chain reaction that left the world in ruins. 20 years later, instead of nearing her retirement, Dr. Elspeth Darrow struggles to forget the loss of her child and husband by plunging herself into the work of operating the last remaining hospital in San Francisco. With medical supplies running out and working herself to exhaustion, Elspeth must embark on a risky salvage mission into the heart of Neo-California danger zone. Here she discovers the disturbing truth: the aliens have returned. As the mystery of the aliens' purpose on Earth unravels before her, Elspeth must hide what she discovers from reactionary despots, all vying to bring Neo-California under their control. Aided by a band of pre-war scientists and New World medical students, Elspeth races against astronomical odds to reveal the terrifying truth that might save the world, or finally destroy it, for good. To get this out of the way, yes, my review of Welker's novel Dark Theory last year wasn't overly positive, but I resolved to go into this book without any preconceptions, and I succeeded because I thought this novel was very good. Now, when it comes to post-apocalyptic stuff, I have drifted from it recently, not because of COVID like a lot of people, but due to having absorbed so much of the stuff as a gig as a writer with a post-apocalyptic themed website for 2 or 3 years. But this one is a little different because while it had the scavenging for pre-war's goods and factions fighting tropes that we all love of the genre, we aren't exposed to any of the other tropes that sometimes go along with it, like extreme violence or war, technically. I'm not knocking that in these stories. My own novel features some of that. But it was nice to have one where the issue is something very different, something less about survival, though it also kind of is about survival, than solving a kind of completely different problem. The issue is aliens, which were actually quite cool. I can't say much about them because that would kind of ruin the fun, but they had a really interesting dilemma, solution, and physiology. I thought they were really, really cool. Now, one thing that this book had a lot of is medical stuff. I am not a doctor, nor am I particularly interested in medicine. Though as a child, I wanted to be a coroner. Read into that however you want. I also wanted to be an assassin, so I guess it was like a 2-for-1 special sort of job. So this book has a lot of medical situations in it, which I found really well described and well paced too. They didn't drag on forever, but reading about operations and stuff doesn't really turn my crank. I was kind of like, okay. The thing is, as I said, I don't think that they're poorly written or anything, and I don't think that they didn't have a place in the story. It's just, it just medical drama like that just isn't really my thing. Now, I didn't fault the book in my rating of it, in the competition because that's like a preference thing, and I thought they were well written. I could follow what was going on, but I just don't care about medical stuff very much. And the doom and gloom about pregnancy in the book, holy shit. Like, okay, my daughter was obstructed at birth, and I had to have an episiotomy without pain meds as I had a home birth. Despite that, I still consider giving birth one of the most powerful, awe-inspiring, and fascinating experiences of my life. For Elspeth to treat it like a fatal illness, essentially, claiming you need all these supplies, well, it could have been a marker of her own unassessed trauma. But where are the midwives in this book? Is there only one pregnant person in the whole town? How many people were in the town? I actually was not sure about that. That there wouldn't be at least one other woman who had gone through pregnancy stepping up to be a midwife is wild to me. And no, there's no way this one woman is the only person in the entire town who can help someone with a pregnancy. I was like, there is absolutely no way. Like, if there was a post-apocalyptic wasteland, given I've gone through pregnancy and birth twice, I would step up and be like, I could maybe be a midwife if it didn't require surgery. Obviously I'm not saying that I am anywhere near qualified to be a midwife. And I'm saying in a post-apocalypse situation, if no one else has any inkling or desire or idea about giving birth, I at least have gone through it. So I'm like, why? So that, I don't know if that was a man thing because it was a guy writing, but like women, at least the women that I'm friends with and know, we talk about pregnancy and birth all the time because we've gone through it. And so I think that women actually, midwives would be something that, or like at least, support for birth would be something that you wouldn't have to scrounge for. Anyway, that's just me. That has nothing to do with the book itself. That's just me talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, I'm just like very picky about depictions of pregnancy and birth. I don't know why. Now, the characters were good. Elspeth is extremely no nonsense and middle aged, which was nice to see because you don't often get that. And while I wouldn't say I ever really warmed to her, I understood her for the most part. I understood her motives and her drives and how exhausted she was. Now, the side characters I could have seen a lot more of. Ward and Simeon were great, but we didn't get enough time with Hutch and Reese, for example, to really grasp kind of their motives. Like, they felt a little bit one-dimensional. There were some other characters that were fun, but we didn't see them enough. I kind of wish we had more of them because they were fun, like her ex, and then that woman, what's her name? Start with an M. Maeve? Mason? I don't know. Anyway, those characters were fun. I wish we'd had a bit more of them in the story. I also kind of wish the aliens were in the story a bit more. I enjoyed the concept behind what they were hoping to accomplish, mainly because I use this sort of similar idea in the opposite way in one of my own novels, so I thought that was really fun. It's like an entirely different story. It's nothing similar at all. But upon reading this, I was like, hey, I used that too, like backwards. Like mine was more of a like blocking a planet. Anyway, it was really fun. I was like, actually, this is a really cool idea because I used it myself. One thing that sort of bogged down the ending for me, though, was that it was a little bit preachy. Like, I thought it had a really great pacing. I really liked the kind of idea behind it, and the visuals were really well done. I just found it was a little bit, like, preachy. Like, the dialogue got a bit kind of stuffy about the point of the book. Like, I don't think it was needed. I think it was strong enough on its own without having to spell out in dialogue, because it kind of felt a little bit of a monologue. It wasn't egregious, but given the high stakes in the the SPS of C4, it kind of did stand out as something. Like, to be fair though, I think I gave this book an 8.5. Like, it's not like I was giving it a 2 or something. There is one thing that I didn't affect the rating because it's a preference thing, but I really think there was a missed opportunity in this book for an enemies to lovers between Elspeth and another character whose name starts with A. Just saying, that kind of, I felt there was a bit of a tension there, and I was like, oh, is this going somewhere? It didn't go anywhere. The book also seemed to be hinting at another romance between two characters, but shied away from it at the last minute. I was a bit disappointed with that too, because I'm like, that would have felt like a really good kind of full circle, or like if those two had had a conversation, like if an apology had happened between them, or if someone had admitted something that they were acting out this way because of something. I think that would have been a really poignant and interesting kind of thing to have occurred. It's hard to talk about this without being specific, but it has to do with Ward and someone else. So yet overall a really solid post-apocalyptic novel with aliens that goes a different direction than it starts in. If you love medical descriptions, you'll probably really enjoy this. It was definitely worthy of being a finalist, that's for sure. And yeah, so thank you so much to the competition for the copy, and I'm probably going to be doing a competition video at some point, maybe like wrapping it up. I don't know, I don't have a lot of time, but I'll try. So thanks.